Okay viewers, so we've got another video here to get into. As I said last time, this is picking up where I left off last time, basically with the those brackets for the bottom of the seats to mount the seats to the seat runners. So that's what we've got coming up for you in this one. So anyway, a couple of other things. There was a couple of comments I'd sort of mentioned about these yellow wires that are underneath the seats, and a couple of guys sort of made comments that they were for the airbags. Basically, I looked at the seats at first and I thought, oh, I don't see that there's sort of any spot that the airbags are in them, but obviously they're well, I've actually since looked up, and basically it is right. These yellow connectors are for the airbags, and the airbags are basically by the look of it in the side bolsters of the seats. And sort of someone said, oh, I need to trace them back and remove them, but look, I don't see that there's any need. If they're just not connected, they're not going to do anything. So yeah, so I don't think that's a problem anyway. The other thing I was just going to mention, look, it's been a few weeks now I've been using the new GoPro, and yeah, it's definitely quite a good quality recording that it does, and I think it's got a wider view, a wider angle on it than the recording with the phone. As you saw, that phone that I had was pretty much stuffed, and I couldn't really use that anymore. I did have like a Samsung that I only bought in the last probably 12 months, which does do quite a good recording, but it creates monstrous video files, and so that's why I didn't want to get this phone knocked around the way the other one had been knocked around from using it out in the workshop here. But I found that the GoPro also was producing monstrous video files. Like, you'd record for 10 minutes, you'd have a 3.5 gig file. I managed to work out how to go into I did a Google search and found how to go in and alter the settings. So I've got a setting that doesn't record such a big file now. And after doing that, I thought, well, gee, there's got to be a way that I can reduce the file size on this phone. And I had done searches in the past and not been able to come up with anything, but as it turns out, I just did a Google search and I came straight up with the answer. So I've actually been able to go in and reduce the file size on this now, which is quite good. But yeah, the only thing, like with the GoPro, as I'm looking at it now, like, it's just got a completely black screen, so you can't really see yourself what's recording. But you can get on the app, I've actually got a preview that I can see, which is a bit handy. I can also start it and stop it from my phone here. So at first I thought, well, the GoPro, it's probably overkill for what I really want. Like, it was quite handy just being able to use the phone. The GoPro's probably got an awful lot of features that one day I hopefully will get time to sit down and sort of try and learn. I suppose I'll just learn a little bit with each time I'm using it. But I did find the other day that I accidentally just touched the screen with my fingers when I was moving the GoPro, and I changed the settings and it went back to those large recordings again. So you just got to be careful with that. But anyway, yeah, so let's get into this video, and hopefully you'll enjoy it. So the one on the inside looks pretty good, really, apart from just needing to widen that little leg out a little bit. But on this side, again, it's sitting pretty much in the right spot, but I think I might modify this and widen this out so that it's got a bigger footprint right there. Okay, so I'm just cleaning up the floor where these things mount, where the old mounts, the previous mounts, have been removed. There's still some bits of the steel on the floor, so I'll probably get rid of that. Yeah, but anyway, just get it all tidied up, ready to reattach these original type mounts back onto the floor. Oh gee, I really struggled to get going today. I realised what it is. I haven't been sleeping well, and I remembered I've been drinking a lot of coffee again. the coffee completely destroys my sleep, which is a shame because I enjoy my coffee. But anyway, might put some gloves on. Firewood, a bit of timber I've had sort of sitting out on the driveway, getting it ready for next year, and one of the bits of timber came up and bashed the back of my finger, so now I've got a big blood blister under my fingernail. Okay, well that's revealed where the spot welds are on those things, so I'll drill some of those spot welds out and get the remains of those things out of the way. There's a couple of bolt holes just in front of these rear brackets, which I'm not sure what they're for. Anyway, okay. Well, it looks like they've done the old trick with half a dozen spot welds on top of one another and next to one another. Got that one off, one down, that's six little pieces to go. Anyway, I'm going to keep going and we'll come back to it. So I've spent quite a bit of time tidying up those front mounts. So I've put a bit of copper spray on there. So I'm just going to tack them in place. Helps to turn the welder on. beautiful. Now the inside one. I bought this magnetic light the other day, but the magnet seems to have given up. Okay, so that's got that tacked. Okay. Now I've got to do a bit of mucking around with these back ones, so I think I'm going to have to modify them a little bit. Need to tighten that up a bit better. Okay, so anyway, I'll cut that off and we'll come back around the back. Okay, so I extended that little arm out the side. I've got that tacked in place, and I've made that little extra piece there to give that a little bit more of a foot. So I'll pull that out, tidy that one up, and then come back to it. Okay, well here we are at the end of another day. I've got those seat mounts, the original mounts, attached back into the car. I've given them a coat of paint so they're still wet, so I can't put the seat on top of it right now, unfortunately. But it's near the end of the day, so I'm going to call it quits here. So when I come back, I'll be able to bolt that seat in and just give it a bit of a trial run, but it should be fine. But that's all good. Okay, so what I'm going to do here, make some marks on the floor so that I can actually reattach the original mountings to the floor. The front ones here are pretty much lining up exactly where they once were. So I just put some marks so I can tidy all that up. Now the back ones, just making sure I've got room for the door there. So the back ones are lining up pretty good. So as you see, I've already got the other side all in nicely. So now we'll get this side in. Okay, so we can see where we've got to clean things up a bit here. The other thing that I want to do, like I did on the other side, Put a bit of a wider foot on the base of one of those mounts. Okay, so I'm going to clean this up. Clean this up and get rid of the couple of bits of metal that are still stuck on there. Okay, well hopefully you can see there I've cleaned up those bits on the floor where those mounts have got to be welded to. I've given them a coat of the copper spray. So now I might just try and pull that seat back in. Now, what can you see there on the camera? Not a whole lot. So, I don't know if you can see clearly the mounts down the bottom there. Needs to go a little bit further forward. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. So I've still got to extend that little arm there a little bit. Okay, this right hand side rear mount seems to be nice. Pull it a little bit further forward. Oh, too far. I think that's pretty darn good there now for the front. Okay, now I'm going to tack a couple of these on down here. Okay, so we've got the driver's side mounts attached to the floor now. You'll see that the passenger side was done the other day. I've just got the rails attached to that one for the moment, and I should be able to attach the rails onto there in a little while when that black paint is dry. And so now we need to paint the frames that attach to the rails and to the seat. Okay, so I'm just putting a coat of paint on these brackets that I made for the underside of the seats. Just putting a little bit of undercoat on there for the moment. So did you see, I think it was just yesterday or the day before, some young bloke won 20 million in the lotto, only in his 20s. So what I'm wondering is how his life will be in a few years' time. Will he have any friends left? I remember seeing an interview on Current Affair or one of those programs many years ago where this guy had had a massive lotto win or something, and the only thing he had to show for it after about 5 or 6 years was a massive pile of beer cans in his backyard, empty beer cans that is. So sometimes these things, if you haven't learnt how to earn it and it gets dumped on you, it can actually be a curse rather than a blessing. So if I come into a lot of money like that, I won't tell anyone, but there might be signs. Okay, so now we'll put, now that's dried, we'll put a bit of black on it. It's a pity I'm blind as a bat. Got to turn this around to the side of the sunlight. So what other words of wisdom have I got for you today? I don't know. And then we should be good. Another job done. Now what I've got to do next is tip the car back on its lid and just tidy up underneath where those brackets that I've just welded on sit in just a couple of spots. And I might need to put a little bit of 2K primer over them. And then we'll work out where we're going to go. We are getting closer now to getting some colour on the underside of the car. Okay, so I've got the car back in the upside down position, so you can see where I've welded those things to the floor. So it's a good thing that I got all this out of the way before putting that coat of yellow paint on it. So I think that's everything now that is going to upset the painting of the floor. So anyway, I'm just going to clean these up. They're actually not too bad. Bit of weld that's sort of hanging in a couple of spots that I just got to grind down. And also where I put the mount for the electric fuel pump just down the back there, if you can see down there. Again, it doesn't look too bad. I think just a bit of a clean up, and probably need to put a bit of 2K primer just over those few spots. It's all looking the same. So I'll start cleaning that up now. Okay, well, got all those things all touched up. Everything's all in the 2K etch primer again now, or the 2K undercoat, and I think I'll tip it back the right way up and we'll come back. Well, I've got the seat mount to connect to the rails here all painted nicely in the black, and it's looking quite good actually. So I think I might go around and might bolt it to the rails that are sitting in the car, so that that way it doesn't get lost. And we're coming to the end of another day. Now, I think it goes that way around. Okay, so I'm just putting the that seat mounting bracket in the car, as I said a second ago. I was hoping that when I tipped the car up earlier today and was getting underneath, I was hoping that that bolt that I can't find would have sort of turned up, fallen out of a hole somewhere or something, but no such luck, unfortunately. That's firm. That'll do him. That's good. So I'll leave them there so that I don't lose them. That's a problem. I've got so many bits and pieces that I bought, and so I've just everywhere I go I've got parts and nuts and bolts on shelves and things, and I really would like to get myself a little bit more organised. Now that my memory's not so good, I don't want to go ordering things that I've already actually ordered, because I've been trying to collect bits and pieces as I go for the whole job. But well, okay, we've come to the end of another day, the end of another video, and so we've now got those seat mounts all in there. The original seat mounts are welded back to the floor where they should be. Underneath the car's all tidied up and got that 2K etch primer on it, so we're pretty much ready for the yellow Raptor liner to go underneath. I'm not sure, I'll have to have a good look underneath. I think I might need to put a little bit more of the seam sealer underneath. I've got a couple of tubes there for that purpose. So what I might try and do is see if I can get some of that on the spots that need it during the week. And who knows, hopefully maybe next weekend I might be able to get some of that paint on anyway, but that might be for a video a few weeks or a month or two down the track. I've got another video that's almost ready to go, and well, for a start, I hope you've liked the content of what I put up in this video. And you know, as I've said, you know, I always appreciate your comments and things, and remember to like and subscribe if you haven't already. One thing that I have noticed though, if any of you guys are Escort guys and know, these seat mounts, the rear seat mounts where they're welded to the floor, just in front of them there's a hole either side in the floor for what looks like for a bolt hole or something, and I don't know what it's there for. If anyone knows, they could maybe let me know what they think it's for. I'll do a bit of searching online and just see. I don't know whether there's something that just has a rubber bung in them or what, I don't know, but anyway. Yeah, so as I said, in the next video I've got some more pieces of the puzzle that I bought over the past couple of weeks, so I'll put a video together of that. I'm going to order a few more little bits and pieces this week, just trying to get everything together. But at the end of the month I have to go away for a week, for about 10 days I think it is. So that's going to put another another bit of a delay on the project, but anyway, these things happen because that'll be two weekends. So anyway, yeah, so we'll just bring it to a close here, and thanks for viewing, and we'll see you in the next video.